Howdy, I'm Allie Spears, and I'm a program coordinator with the Poultry Science Department, and today we're going to talk to you about the poultry slice of the pizza. I brought some students with me in the Aggie Leadership Council, so first they're going to introduce themselves, and then we will get started.
I'm Mary Ennis, a senior at Texas A&M, majoring in poultry science.
Howdy y'all, I'm Ashlyn Eubanks, and I'm from Mount Pleasant, Texas, and I'm a senior poultry science major at Texas A&M as well.
So today we're going to talk to you about specifically poultry, and the kind of definition of poultry is any birds that go into food production. So whether that's chickens or turkeys, even some ducks and geese sometimes. But today we're going to mainly focus on chickens and kind of the life cycle of chickens from the egg all the way to the bird. So let's start off with the egg. So Mary here is holding a diagram of our egg, and so we're going to kind of talk about the different parts real quick, and then kind of the purposes of the egg. At the very beginning here, I want to kind of demonstrate that there's two different types of egg. So there's the egg that produces the chick that you can see over there, and then there's also the egg that you use in your kitchen. So whether that's having scrambled eggs in the morning, or using eggs for cakes, or even pizza dough. So the different parts are, first you have obviously the hard outer shell that protects the inside of the eggs. Then there's the membrane that is really kind of, if you were to ever take off the shell, it's kind of like a little sack that holds everything together and everything contained inside of the egg. Then if you were to crack open the egg, you would see some different parts. So you have the albumin, or the egg white, which is very nutritious, and sometimes a lot of people who, big bodybuilders like to eat the egg whites because there's lots of protein involved in that aspect. And then there's the chalaza, which keeps everything kind of centered. So you have the yolk that's in the middle, and this chalaza keeps it from bouncing or hitting the sides of the shell or the different membranes. So then you have the yolk, which if there was a chick inside of the egg, is what would help them to feed them and help them grow while they're inside the egg. And then there's this little part called the germinal disc. So if you have an egg that you're eating at home, you obviously would not have a chick in your egg, and there's no possible way you would ever have a chick inside an egg that you're eating at home. But the table eggs have this little germinal disc, which is a little indentation on the yolk, which is where the chick would be inserted into the yolk if the egg was fertilized. Another cool thing you can do with eggs, if you are at home and you have an egg and a flashlight, is you can see something called the air cell. So eggs are graded differently, kind of depending on their age throughout their shelf life. So the part that you're going to want to pay attention to is the air cell down here. So if you were to take a flashlight and hold it up to an egg, you should be able to see the air cell on the egg. And then if you were working for somebody who was grading these eggs for the different grades, if you were to hold this up, this little USDA grading card, you would be able to see the different gradings of how old or how fresh your egg is. So a double egg quality egg is something that's going to be very fresh, was just kind of hatched. And then as you progress it, there would be an A quality and then the B quality. Another thing I want to point out though is depending on your egg quality as far as the freshness, it doesn't change the nutritional value that's in the egg. So an egg is healthy no matter what stage it's at. So from there, I'm going to let Ashlyn and Mary talk a little bit about the chicks and their kind of the next cycle and next step in the cycle.
Alright, so if these eggs are not used in your kitchen for cooking or different things like that, then they're going to hatch out and they're going to become these cute little baby chicks. And if you've ever seen a baby chick up close, you might notice a small little knob on the end of their beak. And that's their egg tooth. So what that's going to do, it's going to really help them pip out of that egg. And pipping it really just means, they're just hitting that egg, making a little hole so they can come out and be these cute little fuzz balls. So you might think, well, why do they look so yellow and fluffy? If they get older, you see those big white feathers or the brown feathers. Well, eventually they're going to lose these soft down feathers and they're going to be replaced with those big long feathers that you see. So if you're in the industry, and you're growing these up to either become those birds that lay the eggs or to become those birds that are for meat that you might see, at Chick-fil-A, Whataburger chicken strips, then there's some certain things that you need to take into consideration, like what are you going to feed them? How hot or cold do you want that house to be? How much room do you want them to have to move around? And once you do that, then you'll be able to get that full-size bird to help do the job that you need. So now we're going to show you those birds once they've been taken care of all the way and they've reached that full maturity. So this hen that I have here, she's going to be the one that's going to lay the eggs. And you know she's doing a good job because you're going to see this comb right here, it's going to be losing some color because she's just working so hard to make that egg. And you also might notice on her legs, you know, once again those legs are bleaching out, they're getting white. And then if she's losing a lot of feathers, you know, okay, she's losing a lot of feathers, she's working really hard getting those eggs ready. So if those chicks don't become those laying hens, then they're going to be these meat broilers. And this is what would be used, you know, for Chick-fil-A and Whataburger like we were talking about. So these, you notice he's a lot bigger. He's a lot bigger than that laying hen because we want all that meat that he has. And this is going to be by diets and different things like that. You know, we have nutritionists and other scientists that are really working to make sure that that feed gets these birds as big as they can. And you might notice one thing, his legs, they're going to be a little bit thicker than her legs were. And that's just because, you know, we need his legs to be stronger because he's growing so fast, so quickly. And so we really need those legs to be able to support all that extra weight. And I don't know if y'all have ever been to any fairs, like the state fair or your county fair, but if you go, you might see these birds there, and that's what kids are showing. They're showing these birds and they're trying to make them as big as they can. And it's really interesting because for these birds to show, you know, they're not going to hold them like this. They're actually going to grab them by their feet and hold them upside down. And it's perfectly okay. They're not going to be upside down for long. That's so you can just really see, you know, how much meat is on that breast.
All right. Well, for the most part, eggs are actually eaten by Americans at least 300 eggs per year. Eggs are in all kinds of food, like she said. Cake, your pizza dough. Can't have a pizza without eggs. We lay more than 99.1 billion eggs per year. So that one little hen that's running around over there could lay billions of eggs. Well, actually not just her. She can only do about 300 or so. But all the hens in the world can put up more than a billion. The top 5 states, we're actually number 5. Texas is number 5 of the top 5 egg-producing states. Did you know that chickens are actually related to a dinosaur? Theropods, to be exact.
So you know, just like as you can see, chickens are a big part of our daily lives, whether it be the egg, that chick, or these laying hens or the broilers. And you know, it goes way, way back. You know, if they're related to dinosaurs, you know, they've kind of been around a pretty long time. So next time, you know, you pick up that egg in the fridge or you're going to eat that chicken strip, just kind of think about how big of a part they really play in all of our lives.
So we hope you learned a little bit about poultry today, and like Ashlyn said, the next time you're at the grocery store or maybe your mom's making eggs for breakfast, that you can maybe tell your friends and family a little bit more about poultry and that you continue to eat it.